Have you ever woken up 2, maybe 3 times a night just to go to the bathroom? You finally fall asleep, and before you know it, you're up again. That repeated urge to urinate at night isn't just frustrating, it's exhausting. And if you're a senior over the age of 60, you're definitely not alone. It's called Nocturia, and it's more common than most people think. But what if I told you that certain vegetables, yes, vegetables you can find at your local grocery store, could make a real difference in how often you wake up during the night? Today, we're diving deep into the science behind 3 of the most effective vegetables for reducing nighttime urination. We're not talking about vague advice. We're talking research-backed, evidence-based insights designed especially for older adults. Nocturia. Let's start by understanding what this word actually means. It sounds medical, and it is. Nocturia is the condition where a person wakes up during the night to urinate. For many people, especially seniors, this becomes a regular part of their sleep routine. Now, waking up once in the night might not be a big deal. It can happen due to drinking water late or just natural aging. But when it starts happening 2, 3, or even more times every single night, that's when it turns into a real problem. It disturbs sleep, reduces deep rest, and over time, it can impact energy levels, mood, and even overall health. For older adults, there are several reasons why nocturia might show up. Sometimes it's because the bladder can't hold as much urine as it used to. Other times, it could be due to an overactive bladder that sends signals even when it isn't full. In men, it's often connected to prostate enlargement, which puts pressure on the urinary tract. Conditions like diabetes, which increase urine production, or weakened pelvic floor muscles, common with aging, can also play a role. So yes, the body changes, and so does how it handles fluids at night. But here's something not everyone talks about: your diet. Yes, what you eat every day might be influencing how often you get up at night. Some foods irritate the bladder or act as natural diuretics, while others may help calm things down and support healthy bladder function. And that brings us to the most important part of today's discussion: certain vegetables. Not just any veggies, but 3 that are supported by scientific research and have shown potential in helping manage nocturia. These natural foods may reduce bladder irritation, support prostate and kidney health, and ultimately cut down on those exhausting nighttime bathroom trips. Let's explore these bladder-friendly vegetables. Your sleep might just thank you for it. Dark leafy greens, spinach, kale, and more. Let's begin with something simple, familiar, and likely already sitting in your fridge: dark leafy greens. We're talking about spinach, kale, Swiss chard, mustard greens, beet greens, and even collard greens. These vegetables may not look very powerful on the surface, but they carry an impressive nutritional profile that's been linked to better bladder health, especially for seniors struggling with nighttime urination. In fact, a large-scale 4-year longitudinal study conducted in China followed older men to assess how their diet impacted lower urinary tract symptoms, including nocturia. The results were eye-opening. Participants who regularly consumed dark leafy greens, specifically those who ate 50 grams or more per 1,000 calories daily, had a noticeable decrease in their urinary symptoms. The improvement was tracked using the International Prostate Symptom Score, a standard tool to assess urinary difficulties. The men who consumed more greens saw their symptom score drop by nearly half a point, a statistically significant difference that translated into better sleep and fewer bathroom trips at night. But what exactly makes leafy greens so effective in this regard? Let's break it down. First, fiber. Dark leafy greens are rich in dietary fiber, which helps maintain regular and healthy bowel movements. This matters more than you might think. When a person is constipated, the full bowel can press against the bladder, creating additional pressure and irritation. This can trigger the urge to urinate more frequently, especially at night. By promoting smoother digestion, fiber helps reduce this pressure and gives your bladder a little more breathing room. Second, magnesium. Many dark greens, like spinach and Swiss chard, are excellent sources of this essential mineral. Magnesium plays a vital role in muscle relaxation, and that includes the muscles of the bladder wall. A relaxed bladder is less likely to spasm or contract prematurely, which is one of the root causes of overactive bladder symptoms. In other words, magnesium may help calm things down, so you're not waking up every couple of hours. And third, inflammation. Dark leafy greens are packed with powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. These include chlorophyll, the green pigment in plants, polyphenols, and flavonoids. All of these natural compounds help reduce inflammation in the urinary tract and surrounding tissues. When your urinary tract is calm and less inflamed, it's less reactive, leading to fewer signals being sent to your brain telling you it's time to go, especially during the night. Incorporating these greens into your daily meals doesn't have to be boring or difficult. You can toss a handful of spinach into your morning omelet, blend some kale into your smoothie, or sauté Swiss chard with olive oil and garlic as a warm dinner side. Just 1 to 2 servings a day can make a meaningful difference over time. And if you're someone who's not a fan of the texture of cooked greens, try finely chopping them into soups or mixing them into scrambled eggs. They'll soften and blend right in. So next time you're grocery shopping, reach for those dark green bundles. They're not just good for your heart or your bones. They might just be the first step to getting a full night's sleep again. Hydrating veggies, cucumber, and celery. Next up, let's talk about cucumber and celery. These two vegetables are almost 95% water, which might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, if you have bladder problems, shouldn't you drink less? Actually, no. Proper hydration is key. Dehydration leads to more concentrated urine, which irritates the bladder lining and triggers the urge to go. Hydrating veggies like cucumber and celery provide water in a slow-release form. It hydrates your system without flooding it. Not only that, but both contain compounds that can reduce inflammation and soothe the urinary tract. In fact, a 2022 review on bladder-friendly diets recommended mild, water-rich vegetables like cucumbers and celery, specifically for people with bladder sensitivity. Cucumber contains silica and vitamin C, which support tissue healing. Celery has natural diuretic properties, but unlike caffeine or alcohol, it works gently and promotes balanced urine flow during the day, reducing strain at night. How to use? Snack on cucumber slices in the afternoon, or add celery sticks with almond butter as an evening bite. Light soups made with celery can also double as a soothing night meal. Broccoli and cruciferous vegetables, anti-inflammatory powerhouses. And now, let's move to our third super vegetable, broccoli, along with other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and bok choy. A review of dietary patterns and urinary symptoms published in a urology journal emphasized that cruciferous vegetables support urinary tract function and reduce inflammation in the bladder wall. These vegetables are full of glucosinolates, which break down into compounds that fight inflammation, balance hormones, and may even slow the enlargement of the prostate gland, a major contributor to nocturia in older men. Broccoli in particular is also rich in vitamin C and fiber, which are both important for immune health and bowel regularity. In one study, men who consumed a diet high in cruciferous vegetables were significantly less likely to report nighttime urgency compared to those who ate low amounts. How to use? Try steaming broccoli for dinner with a squeeze of lemon. Roast Brussels sprouts with olive oil, or add shredded cabbage to a stir fry. Just 1 cup of cooked cruciferous veggies a day can be enough to feel a difference. Supporting habits to boost results. Absolutely. Food is just one part of the Nocturia puzzle. While including bladder-friendly vegetables like dark leafy greens is a powerful step in the right direction, the real impact comes when you pair these dietary choices with a few simple lifestyle changes. Think of it like teamwork. Your food choices support your body internally, while your daily habits can help reduce the triggers that lead to frequent nighttime urination. First, take a look at your salt intake, especially during dinner. High sodium levels in your evening meals can lead to increased urine production overnight. When you eat salty foods late in the day, your body tries to balance out the extra salt by pulling more water into your kidneys and producing more urine. So if you're regularly waking up in the middle of the night, a good place to start might be your dinner plate. Try to limit processed foods like canned soups, frozen dinners, salty snacks, and restaurant takeout, all of which tend to be high in sodium. Instead, opt for fresh meals seasoned with herbs and natural spices. Next, be mindful of caffeine and alcohol in the late afternoon and evening. Both of these act as bladder irritants and diuretics, meaning they stimulate the kidneys to produce more urine. Caffeine also relaxes the bladder muscle slightly, which can make you feel like you need to urinate even when your bladder isn't full. Similarly, alcohol can increase urine output and interfere with your sleep quality in general. If you're someone who enjoys coffee or a glass of wine, try to enjoy them earlier in the day, giving your body plenty of time to process the fluids before bedtime. Speaking of fluids, timing is everything. It's not just what you drink, but when you drink that matters. Try to avoid consuming large amounts of fluid within 2 hours of going to bed. This doesn't mean you should dehydrate yourself. Staying hydrated is important for bladder health. Just make sure most of your water intake happens earlier in the day. In the evening, sip rather than gulp, and be especially cautious about high water content foods like soups or juicy fruits close to bedtime. Another tip that can make a real difference: pelvic floor exercises, often known as Kegel exercises. These are simple but effective movements that strengthen the muscles around your bladder. They're helpful for both men and women, especially those dealing with weakened pelvic muscles due to aging, childbirth, or prostate surgery. Stronger pelvic muscles mean better bladder control and fewer sudden urges to go during the night. You can easily add these exercises into your routine while sitting, lying down, or even during daily activities like brushing your teeth or watching TV. Finally, consider elevating your legs for a short time before bed. This helps reduce fluid buildup in the lower body, a common issue for older adults. When you lie down at night, the fluids that collected in your legs throughout the day can shift and get absorbed into your bloodstream, eventually reaching the kidneys and turning into urine. By raising your legs for 20 to 30 minutes in the evening, using a pillow, or reclining with your feet above heart level, you can help release some of that fluid earlier, reducing the load on your bladder once you're asleep. Together, these small shifts, paired with your vegetable-rich diet, can create a powerful routine for managing nocturia. You don't need to make drastic changes overnight. Start with one habit at a time, observe how your body responds, and gradually build a nightly routine that supports restful, uninterrupted sleep. Why diet matters more with age. As we age, our organs change. Kidneys filter differently, bladders lose elasticity, and hormones that regulate urine production, like vasopressin, decrease at night. That's why seniors are more prone to nocturia. But this also means that small dietary changes can have a bigger impact. Unlike medications, these vegetables come with no side effects, no long-term damage, and no prescriptions. Plus, they nourish other parts of your body too, supporting the heart, eyes, skin, and brain. Remember to subscribe, like, and share this with someone who might be waking up too often at night. They might just thank you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, and here's to peaceful nights ahead.